Marian Anderson was born with a special gift. Her voice was a treasure. It was deep, rich, and full of feeling. From a very young age, she loved to sing. She sang in her church choir in Philadelphia. Her community saw her talent. They raised money for her to have singing lessons. This was the start of a long journey. Marian worked very hard to train her voice. She knew that her voice could touch people's hearts. She wanted to share her gift with everyone, everywhere. Her dedication was as powerful as her beautiful contralto voice, setting the stage for a life that would inspire millions of people. Marian Anderson's talent was too big for just one country. She traveled across the ocean to Europe. There, people celebrated her amazing voice. She sang in the grand concert halls of many cities. Kings and queens came to hear her perform. She sang classical arias from famous operas. She also sang traditional spirituals. These were the songs of her ancestors. They told stories of sorrow and hope. Marian's voice gave these songs great power and dignity. She connected with audiences through the universal language of music, proving that art could cross any border and speak to any soul. Even though she was famous in Europe, things were different back home in America. In the United States, Marian Anderson faced the ugly problem of racial prejudice. The color of her skin meant that some doors were closed to her. She was not always treated with the respect she deserved. Some hotels would not let her stay. Some restaurants would not serve her. In some cities, she had to use separate entrances. This was a difficult and painful experience for her. She was a world-renowned artist, yet in her own country, she was judged not by her talent, but by her race. Despite these challenges, Marian Anderson continued to sing. She believed in the power of her music. She toured all across the United States. She wanted to share her voice with her fellow Americans. She traveled by train, often facing segregation and disrespect along the way. But her spirit was strong. She knew that her singing was important. It was a way to bring people together. It was a way to show the world the beauty and strength of black culture. Her grace in the face of such unfairness was a quiet protest, a testament to her incredible character and resilience. In 1939, a moment arrived that would change everything. Marian Anderson was scheduled to sing at Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. It was the largest and most important concert hall in the city. But the owners of the hall, the Daughters of the American Revolution, said no. They had a rule that only white performers could use their stage. This decision was a great injustice. It showed the deep-seated prejudice that existed in the nation's capital. The news of this refusal shocked many people who believed in fairness and equality. It was a clear and painful message of exclusion. This unfair act caused a national outcry. People were angry. They could not believe that such a great artist was being denied a stage because of her race. One very important person who spoke out was the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. She was a member of the organization that owned the hall. To protest their decision, Mrs. Roosevelt resigned her membership. She wrote about it in her newspaper column, telling the whole country what had happened. Her brave stand brought national attention to the issue. She helped turn a moment of discrimination into a powerful call for justice. With the help of Eleanor Roosevelt and other leaders, a new plan was made. It was a bold and historic idea. Marian Anderson would sing, but not in a closed-off hall. She would sing for everyone, outdoors, on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. This was a powerful symbol. Abraham Lincoln was the president who had freed the slaves. On Easter Sunday, April 9, 1939, a huge crowd gathered. Over 75,000 people of all races came to listen. Millions more heard her voice on the radio. It was a moment that brought the country together. When Marian Anderson stood before the microphone that day, she began with the song, "My Country, 'Tis of Thee." Her voice soared over the enormous crowd, filled with emotion and grace. It was more than just a concert, it was a peaceful protest for freedom and civil rights. It was a statement that music and art belonged to everyone. The concert at the Lincoln Memorial became a key moment in the struggle for equality in America. It showed that one person's voice lifted in song, could challenge injustice and inspire a nation to be better. It was a turning point in history. Marian Anderson's journey of breaking barriers did not end at the Lincoln Memorial. She continued to fight for her place in the world of classical music. For many years, one of the most famous opera houses in the world, the Metropolitan Opera in New York City, had never had a black singer perform a leading role on its stage. This was another wall of prejudice that needed to come down. Marian dreamed of singing on that stage, not just for herself, but for all the black artists who would come after her. Her talent was undeniable, and people began to question why she was not given the same opportunities as white singers. Finally, in 1955, the wall came down. The Metropolitan Opera invited Marian Anderson to sing. She was 57 years old, an age when many singers are retiring. But her moment had finally come. On January 7, 1955, she made her debut as Ulrica in the opera Un ballo in Maschera by Giuseppe Verdi. When she walked onto the stage, the audience erupted in a long and emotional ovation before she had even sung a single note. It was a recognition of her incredible talent, her long struggle, and the historic importance of the moment. She had finally broken one of the biggest barriers in American music. Her performance at the Met was a victory for all. It opened the door for other black singers, like Leontyne Price and Jesse Norman, who would go on to become international opera stars. Marian Anderson proved that talent knows no color. She showed that excellence could not be denied forever. Even though she only sang a few more times with the company, her achievement was monumental. She had changed the face of opera in America. She created a path for future generations, ensuring that others would not have to wait as long as she did for their chance to shine on the world's greatest stages. Beyond her singing, Marian Anderson used her fame to work for human rights. She became an important figure in the civil rights movement. She sang at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963, the same event where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. She served as a delegate to the United Nations Human Rights Committee. She used her voice not just for singing, but for speaking out against injustice wherever she saw it. She traveled the world as a goodwill ambassador for the United States, promoting peace and understanding between different cultures through the power of her music and her gentle, dignified presence. Throughout her long and distinguished career, Marian Anderson received many awards and honors. These awards recognized both her artistic genius and her important role as a symbol of hope and progress. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor an American civilian can receive. She also received the Congressional Gold Medal, a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and dozens of honorary doctorate degrees from universities all over the world. These honors showed how much she was respected, not just as a singer, but as a great American who had changed her country for the better. People remember Marian Anderson today for her incredible voice and her quiet courage. Her story is taught in schools, her music is still played and admired. Her historic 1939 concert is remembered as a powerful moment of protest and unity. She showed the world how to face hatred with dignity, grace, and strength. She never answered prejudice with more hate. Instead, she answered it with her beautiful music. She believed that music could heal divisions and bring people together. Albert Einstein once said, "A voice like yours is heard only once in 100 years, capturing the unique and unforgettable quality of her gift." Her legacy lives on in the artists she inspired. She paved the way for countless singers, musicians, and performers from all backgrounds. She gave them the courage to dream big and to break down the barriers they faced. Her life shows that one person can make a huge difference in the world. She taught us that art can be a powerful force for social change. By standing up for her rights, she stood up for the rights of everyone. Her influence extends far beyond the concert hall, touching the hearts of anyone who believes in the fight for equality and justice. Marian Anderson's voice was more than just beautiful sound. It was a voice for freedom, a voice for hope, and a voice that changed history. She remains a true inspiration to people all around the globe. Her life story teaches us about resilience, dignity, and the importance of using our own gifts to make the world a better, more harmonious place. She turned moments of pain and injustice into opportunities for unity and progress. Marian Anderson's song has not ended. Its melody of courage and grace continues to resonate, encouraging us all to lift our own voices for what is right.